Welcome, welcome, welcome to another What's Up Wednesday. Have I traded my van in for a poolside retreat? That would be a yes. That would be a yes because I am in Florida. I flew in last week and I'm flying out on Friday. I was supposed to be back in Spokane, Washington, but that didn't work out because we're standing up an Airbnb property. Welcome to What's Up Wednesday. My name is Scott. In case you're here for the first time on the live or the replay, really appreciate you being here. And we got a fun show tonight. It's a little of a looser show than normal, but nonetheless, it's going to be a power-packed hour. And because it's Ask Me Anything. And I see some amazingly great questions already. And what we tried to do here on What's Up Wednesday is bring you topics, guests, products, places to take your camper van, whether you're no time still researching, part-time taking cool trips of days, weeks, or months, or even a full-time traveler like myself now in my 5th year of full-time travel. In January, I will complete my 5th year. I'm super excited about that. And frankly, it feels like we're just getting started. Pretty amazing. Got a big group in here already tonight. This is so great. Let me kind of show you what we like to do, and then just kind of run through an agenda. And the agenda that we're going to start with tonight is the survey. So let me zoom in here for you. So I did a survey this morning. We had over 140 votes come in. And I don't know why I am surprised by this. The question is, what is holding you back from van life? That would be holding you back from traveling in a camper van. And I'm really hoping that many in the audience tonight can actually help with a lot of people, 70-some%, saying this is what's holding them back. So I've got a couple of tricks up my sleeve, but if you're recently in your camper van, if you could help share your experience, what was holding you back, what made you pull the trigger, and then helps convince some of those folks that it's a big expense, no doubt, but the life experience is priceless. And maybe we can work on that tonight a little bit. Let me get through some content right out of the gate so we can get into the cool questions and say hello to a lot of folks here. So I'm doing a roundup in my old hometown of Spokane, Washington. That's where I graduated high school. We're doing a roundup on Saturday, 29 July. That's this Saturday, 10 a.m. at the REI in Spokane. So if you're in the greater Inland Empire, as they like to say, come join me and others. I know a few of you are coming. This is so great. Don't need tickets. Just show up. Please show up at 10, because if nobody shows up and it's little old me, I probably skedaddle around 10:15, 10:20, unless I can find something to buy at REI, which in my new hiking gear is not overly hard to find. So come join us in Spokane. Libation Live tonight. We're doing a Landshark Island Logger. And the punchline there is coming later. But we always like to do Libation Live because it's really tastes from the road, whether it's food, beverage, a lot of harvest hosts. So this one is not. You'll get a chuckle out of how we discovered this. And that's what we do. We always like to do Libation Live. This day in history, we got a couple of big juicy ones for you today. One of them, in fact, is about Benjamin Franklin. I'll give you a little tip. And of course, it's all about your questions. The live Q&A. If you can help me out with a question format, that's 3 stars, 3 question marks, and then your question, then that will help me see it and answer it more quickly. But if you really want to put the pedal to the metal, look at this, Kat. Let's see, where are you? Right here. We have already got some super stickers coming in. This is from John. And what this does is it makes a donation to the team here. I certainly do appreciate that. I do this for a living. I don't have any other job. So we like to get these up front, get them answered, and honor you for your donation to the channel. So if you can do the stars, or if you feel generous tonight, just click the $ next to the chat field, and that will elevate your question. Since we're here, let me bring this up here, and let's answer John's question. Hi, Scott. I'll be traveling through Kentucky soon and thought I'd ask an expert, what is the best bourbon tour to take? Ooh, there's so many, and you are in a great state, sir, for doing bourbon. I would recommend a couple of them. Wilderness Trail has a really great one. One of my favorites, super educational, Wilderness Trail. Heaven Hills is a collection of brands, including Elijah Craig. Oh gosh, there's so many. I would really zoom in on that one. And if you've got the means, do the tasting and the custom bottling. There you actually get to choose your bourbon and you bottle it yourself, you put the tax stamp on it, and it's going to be the best $80 you spend all week because it's really cool. And then you get to take that bad boy home and say, this I bottled myself. The other one I would say is, I'm not sure, they might be doing bourbon tours now. When I went through, COVID was still kind of hanging around, but Castle and Key. So Google that, Castle and Key. It's a super great story. It's a very storied distillery in Kentucky. It's kind of by Bardstown-ish. What's cool about it is it's a woman-run deal. And she's the master distiller. And I just love it when ladies take it to the guys. It's so awesome. And they make some superb bourbon. And you will just hate to dispense with the jar of the bottle because it's so gorgeous. So that's what I would suggest. Who else has a good suggestion there? So Heaven Hills, bunch of brands, bottle your own. Do the Wilderness Trail. It's in Danville. And that's where Kentucky actually was born. And then go see Castle and Key. Tell them Scott sent you. They won't know who I am. And here's another great example of getting your Matt. Oh my gosh, your question or comment elevated. Matt, good to see you, sir. Thank you very much. Unfortunately, I don't have the jingle jar tonight, so I have absolutely nothing to make any noise. So how about a whoo whoo? Because that's all I got tonight. Because the jingle jar is in Miss Lily, which is in Spokane, Washington. Clearly, I'm in Florida. And let's check in to see if we got iguanas hanging out. No iguanas yet. Thank you, Matt, for that. I really do appreciate it. When this gets a little bit darker, this is going to light up. This is our latest Airbnb property. Let me go a little further here. But if you can help me with the question format, that will help me find it more quickly. Question, kind of anything's on the table tonight. Again, in my fifth year full-time travel, so I know a few things. Can steer you away, can steer you some bourbon tours. I've been in car wrecks in my van. We have Airbnb, and so whatever's on your mind is kind of what it is. We're gonna say hi to a lot of folks here in just a moment. Let us know where you're watching from. If you're new to the program, and I did not capture the country last week. It was in Europe that was being seen in. I couldn't really remember. I didn't write it down. Shame on me. But if you are new to the program, have a country that you don't see your flag on the map. This is an international sensation. Let us know what country you're watching from. And if you're watching and I didn't capture your country last week, I super apologize. But we just recently added Poland. Excuse me, it'd be an honor to put your flag on the map. It's been a crazy day here. Let's see what else we got for you. Let me share where I'm coming at you from. So I'm coming at you from Lake Worth Beach. This is technically home base for me. I return around Christmas time, hang out in January for a little bit, and then we go to Tampa for the Florida RV Super Show in Tampa, and then we're hanging out in early February for the now the Love Van and Peace, Love, and Vans event. We'll talk about that in a second. But this is home base, and then I scatter across the country. So I'm already planning stuff for next year. And we've got the eclipse coming up in April. And it kind of does this wide swath through northern Texas and into Missouri, and southern Illinois. So I'm trying to find some space. If you know anybody that has land that can host us, that would be great. Let me keep going where I am. I digress. So southern Florida, endless summer, where apparently the ocean water around Florida is now 102 degrees, which is warmer than bathtubs. Speaking of degrees, look at this. It is clearly summer. It's a hot one, ladies and gentlemen. And Mason Mike, if you're in the crowd, or even Frisco T, if you let us know how many days of triple-digit temps have you suffered through. That'll make us all feel a little bit better. That's so funny. But it's just been a really hot summer. This is the gasoline in my area. Let me zoom in here for you so you can see that. Pretty reasonable. I paid $3.60 for regular at Costco a couple days ago. So it's kind of a big spread, about 60 cents. And real estate price in this area, it's Florida. So it's on the coast of Florida. So it's really kind of ridiculously expensive for what you're getting. That has not come down, by the way. So you better be prepared to shell out about $500,000 to $800,000 for what would be kind of an average house. I know, it's stunning. I'm really excited to say that next week on What's Up Wednesday, we've got Mick Franklin from Winnebago Motorhomes in Rockford, Illinois. He is coming on to be our guest, and he's going to talk about state of the RV industry from a dealer perspective, working with customers. It's a 53-year-old Winnebago only, family owned. His dad owns the business. He's kind of the guy now, and it's all family around the business. And he is going to give us a tour. We're going to practice this on Monday. Give us a tour of one of the newest Winnebago products, a Solus. They're now coming with a lithium system, kind of the portable. I can't remember the name of it. Anybody know? EcoFlow? That's not it. It's kind of the same one that's in the Adventure, the Winnebago Adventure wagon one. But anyway, he's coming on, going to give us a tour, and we're going to talk about price, service, inventory, interest rate, and purchase tips to help you shop better. So he's coming on next week. I'm really excited about that. Again, here are the questions, and again, anything's on the table. Love these things. Got some great ones in here. Be patient with me. So events. So we've got so much going on. I've actually changed this up on my website because I cannot keep up. And I'm really happy to announce tonight for the very first time, we've got some really exciting roundups scheduled. Let me zoom in here for you. What we are doing is, I mentioned the roundup. That's what I call meet and greets. We're doing one in Spokane, Washington at the REI this Saturday, 10 a.m. There's the address. Excited to also announce we're doing a roundup in Billings, Montana, one of my favorite towns and the headquarters of KOA, Campgrounds of America. We're doing a roundup on Saturday the 5th. So the following week, you can tell I'm in motion at the REI there. And then I'm really excited to say that we're going to do kind of our annual pilgrimage to Winnebago Motorhomes, and that is in Rockford, Illinois. This is a Chicagoland. It's about an hour-ish that way west of downtown Chicago. So if we're in the Chicagoland area, what we do is we're going to meet, we're going to ask questions, we're going to tour rigs, we're going to do a Q&A with Mick, and then we're going to go find lunch together as we're going to kind of caravan to the lunch place. I've been going to the Prairie Street Brewery in the past. Might pick a new place this time, and it would just be an honor to have 4, 5, 6, 8, 10 vans and really just do some van fellowship. That's what the whole thing's about. But wait, there's more. Patreon supporter exclusives. We love this, the way this is rolling. This was actually audience friends that recommended this. I'm really happy to say this has been growing really nicely. What it is kind of some exclusive in-person Zoom time, sneak peek behind the curtain on a whole bunch of stuff. So we're doing, if you're in Wall, South Dakota, Friday, August 11, only the information will be revealed to Patreon supporters. But if you're happening to be in the area of Wall, South Dakota, which is just outside the Badlands, hey, let's get together. That's going to be a hoot. And then we're doing a Zoom. We love this, doing this for the true believers. It's really all of us getting together. We've had a really nice crowd. And what we do is we talk about camping, van mods, all kinds of stuff, and really a deep dive. And people are actually making friends with each other virtually, and then say, "Hey, let me show you my text you," and they're actually camping out. And that's the whole point: is we meet, we do van fellowship together, and you don't need me, which is pretty awesome. But wait, there's more. I wanted to say hi or welcome to Lisa G. She's our newest reporter. We've got a growing posse of supporters there. So you can go to the link, check it out. No obligation to stay forever. Come and go as you please. It really does help support the channel significantly. And I think more importantly, it gets you some additional information you would not find anywhere else. Speaking of, Van Breeze is what I call our campouts in our vans. We did some really fun ones this year earlier, including Lukenbach, Texas. We've got the Volta campout coming up a month away. I think they have closed the registration for this, but if you are going and need an insider push to get you over the line, I've got some contacts that I could probably help you out. So, but reach out and make a comment or something like that. My email address, I think, is on the website, gosmalllivlarge.com, and I'll see if I can help you out. And then we're already planning for the Chattanooga event, which is not that far away. This is the Adventure Van Expo. We're camping out there. We had a bunch of Embassy RV folks there last year, which is so much fun. The bourbon is flowing freely amongst the storyteller crowd and our crowd too, I must admit. And then Peace, Love, and Vans. Let me show you this. So they've had some funny situations with their name. So they started with Vantopia last year, or was that this year? Oh my gosh, it was in February. So this is next year. They've run into some naming issues with lawyers calling them. So now it's going to be called Peace, Love, and Vans. The date remains the same. It's just a few weeks after the RV Super Show. I am, I guess, happy or sad that the Birds of Feather that'll be camping out with the Embassy RV crowd, the Go Small Live Large crowd. We have 4 streets, and the Travato crowd is now sold out. So tickets are still available. Use the discount code to save 5%. Every dollar matters. And join us at the overall campout. There's their URL. Again, they've had a name change. Go there, read that funny story. What happened to them? I'm pretty sure they don't find it very funny, but they took it in stride, which is great. Here's our posse. They're in the 4 black arrows. Again, all that space to the right is available. So don't be discouraged. We wander around and we make friends. That's the whole point. Really thrilled that Embassy RV is going to be attending and sponsoring. And then and he's going to be bringing some of his DIY stuff. Terry Minix is going to come, bringing a van or 2, and he's trying to get some of the team. We'll see how that goes. And then our friends at Sunshine State RVs out of Gainesville is going to be there sponsoring as well. So we have a big impact on this event. They're expecting about 400 to 500 vans. We had close to, 75 vans associated with Go Small last year. And I know that's going to be well over 100 this year. So I'm doing a class, so come join us. Get your tickets and just make the trek. There is not a better time to be in Florida than in February. Let me tell you, January can be a little chilly, especially on the Tampa side, but it's just the most beautiful thing. We had so much fun last year. So great. All right, let me say hello to some folks and answer some questions, because that's what this is all about for sure. So let's do that. Where am I, Scott? I see another super sticker. Let's say thank you to them. Ooh, it's way down here. Okay. Sam Treadway. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Woo-hoo. Normally I have my jingle jar, but thank you, Sam. I really do appreciate it. It goes a long way. Normally goes to my Libation Live situation. So no question, but we do appreciate it. If you have a question, we would love to answer it. Okay, let me get to the top here. And we had some really good questions right out of the gate. So Peggy is an Embassy RV owner. Peggy wants to know, what would you do differently when back in time, knowing what you know now after 5 years? I would have probably started 5 years earlier, to be honest with you, which kind of gets to the point of what's holding people back from doing this. I've had so much fun. I've completely changed my life, literally. The impact we as the Go Small, Live Large community are having on each other is not lost on me. And to me, how many more lives could we have impacted if I just started 5 years earlier? I would go slower. I'm working on that. Although I'm going from Spokane to Holland, Michigan, across half the country in about 2.5 weeks. So I might follow my. I think stuff too. I think every RVer, certainly a camper van, I'm totally guilty. I spent well over $2,000 of all this ridiculousness. Some people want it. To me, it turned out to be ridiculousness. Carpets and chairs and tables and good Lord. What I realized is stuff is just stuff to carry around. It's the people, the places, the experiences. It's not the stuff. And you really live out of the van. So one of my favorite items in the van is my backpack. New video coming up. My new favorite backpack is by Topo Designs, designed in Colorado, probably my new favorite state. And that allows me to put stuff in my backpack and go hiking, going out into cool places to do channel work and stuff like that. So that's what I would say. I would have done it sooner, maybe not full time, but it has changed my life so much that it's just really, I pinch myself every day still. And just really nudge people to move forward. So if you're new to your van, I know some of you are, some are just around the corner from getting your van, you're chomping at the bit. Peggy, you're in your embassy now for a little over a year, I think. How has your life changed because of the van? It seems so crazy, but and the impact we're having on each other is it's so measurable. I wish I could post some of the emails and the notes, handwritten notes, mailed, and emails that I get from some of you. It's so heartwarming. Good question. Let me ask you this: what would you do differently now that you've had your van for a year? So chime in on that. John's got a good question here. And Scott, have you been on this journey? Scott, you have been on this journey for a while and seem to be really enjoying yourself. Yes, sir. Do you wish you had started even earlier? Thank you for sharing your adventures. I do wish I would started earlier. And I wish I would have done things a little bit differently with YouTube. I'm still in a I don't know, a leg wrestle with YouTube. And I want to thank Mason Mike for bringing this to my attention. But I wish I would have done videos differently, to address things differently, to maybe have a bigger channel. We're working on that still. And YouTube, I started before I even had a van, so I was kind of all in on that. But yeah, I mean, if you've got a little bit of means and more importantly, priorities to do something different, you don't have to go travel full time. Most don't. I just choose to. There's so much to see and do and taste and experience. Let us know, John, what van you have, and would you start earlier? I don't think we'll ever be without a van again. There's just no way. They're just such a game changer. I got a video coming up about that. It's just so crazy. We got Sharon in the house. Great to see you. Sharon's awesome. She's very dedicated. Thanks again for letting us be part of your week. I really do appreciate it. Here's Karen. I thought you were in Spokane. I was and will be, and hope to see you at the Roundup at REI on Saturday morning, Karen. Spokane Valley. Look forward to going back and visiting with my family, but needed to help my partner Kyle stand up our latest Airbnb property, which is not an easy lift. Okay, everybody, I wish I had my jingle jar. So woo woo for Roads of Life. Last real workday is this Friday. Sir, this is Wednesday, so you got 48 clock hours. How does that feel? Freedom at last. Man, I worked full-time from the rig for a while, then part-time on my corporate job for a while. I cut that loose in September 21. Now I got to keep working. I don't have no pension, nothing. So this YouTube thing is a real deal for me. But congratulations, sir. I am so proud of you. He's got an Embassy RV. And unless, so the Mrs. Roads of Life really needs to give you what do you think? What's fair? I think a 3-month hiatus on the honey-do list, so you guys can go out and do some traveling in that embassy. That's what I'm saying. Get out of Texas, or go camp out in the stockyards in Fort Worth and just hang out and play cowboy. Get your hat on. I know it's a little bit of a hike from Houston, but or go to Shiner Bach Brewery and urban camp. I know there's so much to do. Sherry, great question here. Did you do anything special to celebrate your birthday? Let's see. We drank martinis on Palm Beach. There's a really great bar there called Bradley's. Kyle was there, and brother and his sister and brother-in-law. So we had a little bit. Just kept it really. We're just pedal to the metal trying to get this done. Thank you for asking. So I turned 2 years from being 60 on the 24th. So I'm telling you, as it gets closer to 60, birthdays are like, what? Dismissed with that, but thank you for asking. I appreciate it. It was great. What your life wants to know. So Scott, will you be joining the no black tank crowd anytime soon? What Roads of Life is referring to is the Embassy RV does not have a traditional toilet waste tank. Now, I'm kind of a proponent of that, actually, the toilet waste tank, because you flush it and I never see it again, and down the hose it goes, 4 times a month. Never have to really deal with it. So I've been doing it for a long time. I don't even know how many tank empties, but I am working with the Embassy RV team to see if I can get in a van so I can try it. Maybe, Rob, you and I can go camp out. We can do van swap. You can try out mine. I'll try out yours, and I'll try your toilet that's water flushless. What do you think? I just really like what Embassy is doing for all the reasons we've talked about. Floor plan for me is a big deal. So that's kind of why. But Terry's open to some ideas, so that's so great. Thanks again, John, for this. Hopefully you wrote those down. Thumbs up, everybody. Yes, please. Sherry's in. It's hot there. Is it hot there? It's in Wisconsin. I love Wisconsin. What a great state. Gary's in Orland Park. Soupy, 90 degrees. Yeah, it is super here. In fact, let's check what the iguana cam is. I'm hoping to get an iguana sneaking by. If you see those dark spots, this is kind of gross. So if you're eating dinner, sorry, off to the left, they love to come to the pool, do a number 2, I guess, rinse off in the pool, and off they go. It's just a Florida thing, and an iguana thing. Actually got a shot of one today. If you've never seen an iguana live, it's really pretty hair-raising. They are truly a tiny dinosaur. It's just amazing. Ron in the house. Good to see you, sir. He is a loyal viewer. Ron, appreciate you watching us. And this is Marcia. How often do you care for the top of the van, such as sap getting all over it, leaves, twigs, etc.? Great question. I think this is your second, maybe third week in a row joining Woo. What's up Wednesday? Marcia, thank you for joining. I probably don't do it as much as I should. I do climb up there on the ladder just to take a look if I've been around trees. And I'm super, and I hope you are too, super aware of things below and above the van. Tree limbs, parking stops, holes, driveways. So I go up there and I see if there's any debris. It's really kind of a project to wash the top of the van, unless I'm in an area where I can hook a hose to my wash wand that I carry in my van, trying to get up there. And I do this somewhat regularly, maybe once, twice, every couple months, is get up there in a like a self-serve wash bay, and then spray the heck out of the top, trying to wash off some of that material. But when I get back to home base, I kind of give the top a good scrubbing because it kind of gets the mold up there. But I really don't want. I'm not so worried about sap, but leaves and stuff that would just make things decay. And I do check out the seals for the Max Air fan. I've had leaks in the past, so I'm just hypersensitive on that stuff. So I'm up there once, twice a month, using the van, ladder up the back of the van, scurry up there and take a look. I'm pretty terrified of heights, so I don't spend a lot of time up there, to be honest. Tin Can Carl in the house. He's going to be a guest coming soon on What's Up Wednesday. He's got an amazing, correct me, Carl, Coachman. And he's a cool cat. He's going to come tell us his van story. And I just love having owners share their van story on What's Up Wednesday. That's the whole point here. So he's in Coos Bay, Oregon. I've been there as a kid. 65. Oh, doesn't that sound absolutely glorious? Everybody's baking in 90 degrees. Sunny and beautiful. That is super unusual. Please take a selfie, Tin Can Carl, and send that to me, because a sunset in sunny Oregon is pretty unusual, if you know what I mean about the Northwest. Or the Pacific Northwest. Sherry Justin in the house. Hello, sir. First time in a while, been able to tune in live. Did you find somebody's Wi-Fi, sir? Just kidding. Currently en route to Virginia for a week where it'll be 100 and humid. Whew. Let's all go to Coos Bay. That sounds pretty awesome. Let's see. We got Eric in the house. Eric Tuller. That might be a new name. Eric? Bushnell, Florida. Not sure where that is, so let us know where that is. Here's Matt in the house. Ask anything, huh? When's your next snake video? So thank you, Matt, for asking that. What he's referring to is I had a van life miracle, I call him. I was in Albuquerque, in Old Town, Albuquerque. There's the Rattlesnake Museum. I think their URL is rattlesnakes.com. And I managed to get a rattlesnake striking the side of the cage by complete accident. I was doing a little video. So if you haven't seen that, Matt, I'm probably okay not to see that again up that close. If you heard the video, you heard me shriek. It was pretty scary. The only thing more scary would be like a butterfly landing on me, because I'm not real big on flying insects, even butterflies. But that was a great time. That's what vans are about. Take you someplace, you park it, and you're kind of at camp, and then you go wander around and check stuff out. It's pretty great. Here's Dave. And I should say hi to anybody on LinkedIn. We're simulcasting on LinkedIn tonight. I haven't done that in a while, and I thought the open-ended nature of this would be fun. So if you're in corporate America, and aren't you enjoying being back in the office? Holy cow. Welcome to Van Life. Work from home from your van in Coos Bay, Oregon. Yo, Scott and all. Northern Virginia, 89 degrees here. Dave, thank you for being here. Here's Simi G in the house. 99 degrees, 479 for gas. Simi's in a Travato, correct me if I'm wrong. We met at Rancho Cucamonga, California. I just love saying that. That sounds like it was a great meetup, right? We had a great time there. Rob's in the house. Is this the meetup was it last weekend? Where were we? Boise, right? And we had a Patreon supporter joining us there too. Rob's a great guy. Rob, you're going to the Vantopia Peace, Love, and Vans, right? In Florida this year. I can't remember. He's a great guy. Thanks. He's a paramedic. He's actually going to be a guest on What's Up Wednesday soon too. I just love it when owners are willing to get out here and share their story to help people make a decision. And if you never get in a van, that's fine. Live vicariously through us. That's cool too. But I really give my take my hat off and a shout out to those that are willing to come share their story, because it helps inspire others. This is not about me. I'm just the benevolent dictator, but it's really about all of us together. Very serious about that. Here's Catherine in the house, coming in from humid Palatine, Illinois. Not right where that is. That's good. Bill and Joe, they just got their Coachman Beyond, the Transit, lithium base, all Florida, 340, 97 degrees. Van still in dealer. They're doing some stuff to it. Yeah, let's see what else we got going here. Let me just look at some stuff here quick. Okay, we're doing time. 30 minutes. Wow, this is great. And back to Bill and Joe. So we had a Travato owner on. This was Terry. He was on I don't know, 6 weeks ago. He kind of lives around home base here in Florida, and he came to one of the very first Roundups. Didn't have a van, brought his son. The punchline is, by him coming on the show, talking about his freedom story. He's recently retired as well, and how the van has changed his life. That pushed Bill and Joe over the edge to kick it in gear and get there beyond. And I got to tell you, I'm guessing, Bill and Joe, that you're very thankful to Terry helping you push you over the edge, and are thankful for your van. It just changes your life. It's so weird to say, but it's so true. Walla Walla, Washington. Joe, there you are. We met in Boise just a couple of, so you made it home. This young lady is going through iterations of what traveling in a van looks like for her and her two dogs. She is just a lovely lady, and thank you again, Joan and Rob, for joining me in Boise for the Roundup. Was that a week ago, 2 weeks ago? Just time flies. I would love to do a caravan of vans in cool weather, September, early October, not this year, through the Washington wine country, which is Walla Walla, Yakima, probably even Wenatchee, right? Pick 3 or 4 wineries and let's caravan across using Harvest Host, something like that. It's just a really cool area of the country, and let's not like to do wine country in a van, right? It's not the what's the famous one down by San Francisco? There's K3 in Wisconsin, Neil and Britt in the house. These two are amazing. Are you guys still in Los Alamos? Near Bandelier. So Neil and Britt, full-time in an Echo. They have a Travato they rent out on Outdoorsy. They tried Storyteller, didn't work out. And they are the most charming and cool couple. They were on a guests on What's Up Wednesday over the last few months. And they are the coolest folks. And she's a traveling nurse. He's a sponsored athlete. Really cool folks. And you guys have 1, 2, 3 cats? I can't remember. I know the 2 for sure. And they're just great. And they have a YouTube channel, cleverly named Neil and Britt. So hit them up on the YouTube. Matt, we said thank you already. So thank you again, sir. I really do appreciate it. That adds up. How we doing? Might do Libation Live here in a minute because I'm getting parched. Let's see. Dawn in the house. Looking forward to my life on the road. Waiting for my first van. Dawn, you got to let us know what you're getting and when are you getting it. I am so proud of you. Again, just taking trips of days or weeks. We just had Roger and Jane on, and they took about a 13-day trip to South Dakota and back from Chicagoland, and they shared that story with us. And there's just so much out there. I'm really excited for you. Landshark's your favorite. Oh my God, this is so great. Maybe we'll have to get that out. What do you think? Is it time for Libation Live? Let's see, Roads of Life. Maybe one more question, then we'll switch to Libation Live. This is kind of fun tonight because it's free form, just working the chat. I love guests, and I love some of the topics we've covered in the last few months, but this was actually a lot of fun for me. Hopefully and I'm standing, which is super neutral. That's the bar. Let's check the iguana cam. Sorry, Rob, hold on. Any iguanas? I don't see it. It is raining here. No, I don't see any iguanas. Man, when you see a big iguana, I mean big, when they're like, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 feet long, it takes your breath away. You're like, now they look really sluggish, but man, once they get up on their hind legs, they are hopefully not coming at you because they're going to run you over. Let's see. Roads of Life. Since you asked, what was the first thing that originally held you back from van life? It's a great question. He always asks great questions. You all always ask great questions. There really wasn't anything holding us back once we made the decision. It was a mental shift. We had to me and my partner Kyle, address how we were living, why we were living, and what changes do we want to make, and we're committed to making. Maybe at one of these van briefings, I'll share some really behind-the-scenes story. We actually made columns, a 5-year plan. He called it the fantasy plan. It was literally 5 years out with really good focus on the first 2 years. And I got to tell you, have exceeded that because we were committed from the start. And I wanted to full-time travel from the start. So once we knew what floor plan would enable that, I sort of wanted a Winnebago. Didn't know anything about Embassy or really any of the other vans. I really wasn't interested. There wasn't a lot of vans back then anyway. Back in we were in early 2018. That's when we really made the decision. So I was all in from the start. Had some money, put money down on a van, found it, was doing Volta, the Pure 3 lithium system. Lithium's a game changer. When I heard the generator, I'm like, nope, because I wanted to go anywhere in the van and have shore power experience. And couldn't do that downtown camping in Bristol, Virginia. Or is it Tennessee? Either side of the street. And so nothing really held me back. It was for you ladies and men, you have a kid coming, right? We put the deposit in on June. I picked it up in October of 2018, and it was like being pregnant. It was the most excruciating 6 months of my life because I was so excited about this. I knew it was going to change my life, not to the extent that it has, but I was. And many of you said you got to do a video about this, and I get very preachy about this, and it really turns people off. Some people, not everybody. All right, let's keep going. We got some Marie's in the house. She's the most amazing lady. Mishawaka. Oh my gosh, that's Amish country, isn't it? Indiana, where it's 83, feels 91 because it's humid. Yeah, is that the right Marie? I think so, right? Yeah. She's a great lady. So she and Beyond Intentions taught me how to go hiking. So I've completely revamped my attire. Still have the cowboy gear, but got rid of half of it so I could make room in the van for hiking gear. I'm so excited about hiking now. Here's Alfred. What a cool cat. Bisbee, Arizona. Hello, Scott. Congratulations on 5 years of adventure. Hot 93 degrees in Southern California. Hot everywhere, Alfred. He, too, came to Rancho Cucamonga, California. And remember Simi G? He had his van fairly recently back then, right? He had done so many mods already. He's like the mod king. You and Roger ought to get together and do a ball toss, and who's made more. He's a cool cat. And Bisbee, right? We got to make that an annual pilgrimage. All right, let's do a few more questions, but first let's do. We're doing the howdy part right now, right? I'm all excited today. Let's do Libation Live. Thumb up, everybody. Libation Live. Here we go. Okay, so mine's right here. I have verified it is twist off. I gave that one to Kyle. So cheers, everybody. And again, the point of this is not to watch Scott drink booze on camera, but it's to share tastes from the road. And I've had some amazing tastes. To me, that's what it's about, is the discovery. It doesn't have to be booze. It can be, well, Harvest House kind of helps, but, food, right? Sights, sounds, farmers markets. What I kind of find funny about Landshark is, where's their right here? They kind of got this beachy scene, right? Kind of this, so it's Landshark premium lager, island style lager. Want to guess where it's made? Nowhere near an island, St. Louis, Missouri. That's the funniest thing. I think it's made by Budweiser, isn't it? It's one of their brands. Might be wrong on that. Boy, if you haven't heard the Budweiser factory, cheers, everybody. The Budweiser brewery in St. Louis. You don't want to miss that. It's a really great tour. I can't remember the dollars. It's like 10 or 20 bucks, pretty cheap. It's fast. They're huge, but they brew a lot of brands that you wouldn't necessarily associate with Budweiser, including Stella Artois. which I think is made in Belgium. And the only other place on earth it's made is in St. Louis, Missouri, just to keep up with demand. I was like, what is that all about? So cheers, everybody. Oh, that tastes pretty good. To me, this kind of tastes like, I don't know, those of you that drink, somebody said they really like Landshark. To me, it tastes like Corona with a lime kind of already spritzed in it. You could use a little dash of salt. That's lovely. We got some super chats. Let me get to those quick. Thank you for doing that. Appreciate that. Oh, I got one more thing to show you. This is kind of funny. So why Landshark tonight? A lot of our Airbnb guests leave behind stuff they can't take on the airplane. So we oftentimes get a lot of free beverages. So I discovered this in the Airbnb fridge when a guest checked out this week. Just saying. So that's the deal. Let's see, Sam, we got yours. Thank you again for that. I really do appreciate it. Here's Denny Meyer. Thank you, sir, for your super sticker. Appreciate that. Woo-hoo. And he's got his question here. I started out in a Revel, but I find I need a little more room and a few more creature comforts. What would you suggest? Is it a bad idea to trade or just learn to adjust? That's a beauty. Congratulations. Revel is actually where my journey started. As a full-time traveler, I discovered quickly it was not going to work for me. Room you mentioned. It does have a toilet, but it's a cassette toilet. Lots of debates on those. I have not seen a microwave. We've done a couple of videos recently. The Revel did not have a microwave. If you like, I think, again, I get a little preachy on this, and I get some feedback, but I'm really serious about this, Denny. So I think discover why you want to travel in a camper van. It doesn't have to be full-time, but why a camper van? And if it's to save money, if it's to do unbridled discovery and complete freedom, where do you want to do that? Is it up in the woods? Are you hanging out with the moose and the mosquitoes? Or are you kind of an urban cowboy like myself? Or a combination thereof, maybe, or doing some urban stuff, and then you go find a trailhead and you kind of wander up. Maybe there's a kind of a boondocking BLM land site that's nearby the trailhead. That's what I'm looking for going forward. But I think it's really kind of figure out why, and then what floor plan and what RV systems enable the why. A lot of folks put the floor plan and get all excited, and then they go, oh, that didn't quite work out. If you like traveling in a van, I would make a list of what is giving you heartburn, and then maybe prioritize those. That's the way I think. And then start trying to adjust. Love your word adjust. I think everything in van travel, van life is really an RV, but generally in a van, because you're so limited on space and capacities, is just to figure out if you can make an adjustment or not. So when I was in an adventure van in two different styles, a Rover Vans on the biggest Mercedes chassis, and then in the Storyteller, the smallest Mercedes chassis, I learned that I could adjust to the toilet situation if I wasn't traveling full time. If I was just going for a weekend, I could probably do that. But for full-time traveler, it's just an idea. I have a video coming up probably next week on the Revel versus Storyteller on a value proposition, and many of you will be upset with me, and many of you will be shocked. I would, again, the Revel's a very different van than a Travato or anything kind of in that line. If you really don't need the off-road aspect of it, the Revel, then look at a more traditional touring coach, Coachman, Embassy, Winnebago, Travato, and you can do what I've done and kind of toughen it up a little bit, lift it, put a ladder on the back, put a brush guard on the front, and do some things like that. Wheels and tires made a huge difference. So that's what would be my suggestion for you, Danny. Let's have some other folks kind of zoom in here for you and answer that. But that's what I would suggest. Don't give up. It would be my suggestion, but make a list. What's irritating you, and what adjustments could you make? But really decide why you want to travel in the van. Is it to be in the woods or being more comfy with all the creature comforts of what I have in my Travato? Good question. Did I get this one? Here's Denny. Hey, he's adding to the pile. Thank you, sir. Let's woo woo for Denny. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Hopefully that helped. I thought I saw one more down here. Oh, there's quite a few. Whoa, Steven. GEG. I knew, sir, you were going to do it. And this time we're going to see you in your van. We saw you a couple of years ago, right? And he was just, haven't quite got there yet. GEG Steve. I'm super excited, sir. I'm really delighted to see you. And full tour of the video or the van, please. Deborah, appreciate that. Belated birthday drink. My friend, thank you, ma'am. I appreciate that. Not getting any older. I mean, getting older, not getting any younger. Another reason to pull the trigger and get moving. How many more good years do we have left to do crazy stuff like traveling around in a van, right? Thank you, Deborah. I appreciate that. Woo, woo, for Deborah. That's super awesome. And here's down here. See me, geez. Scott, what's the update with the ant bites and how's Lily since the accident? So thank you, Larry. I appreciate that. Woo, woo. I'm definitely in my jingle jar. My woo-woo is pretty sad. So what CMG is referring to here is I stepped in a fire ant nest washing my van at a KOA in Montgomery, Alabama. Didn't know it until many hours later. Larry, I'm happy to say I still have scars. The discoloration makes it look like I have like leprosy foot. I can't believe it. There's no pain. It's just the discoloration. People say it will go away, but I'm like, how many exfoliants do I need to put on my foot to make those things go away? I would never want to repeat that. We covered that heavily on What's Up Wednesday a number of months ago. So if you, my God, look for the ants in your campsite and identify a fire ant. You do not want to tangle with those little critters. Holy cow. How's the Lily since the accident? So I got rear-ended in April in Fort Worth, Texas of this year. I'm happy to say she is operating as normal. The team, I got Progressive Insurance did an amazing job. It was so great. And the McLean's RV in Fort Worth, not only an RV dealer and a service center, they're also a body shop. So they were able to get me in and out in 72 hours because we really staged things carefully. But it was really because of Progressive, they were able to do that. And so everything's fine. This is a great story to tell, and thank God. And in fact, I got a note from somebody that got rear-ended in their van, and their bike rack, which I don't think was Winnebago, but they had like a basket in the hitch, and that too saved them from having serious damage. Although they did kind of push in one of the cargo doors, looking at the picture. So appreciate you asking. Wow, Roads of Life. This is great, you guys. Thank you, and ladies. Want to know how valued you are in the RV community? You got me started. I'm sure Mrs. R. Roads of Life wants to slap you silly for making me spend money, but enriching your life, Robert. And I know Mrs. Roads of Life will be very happy about that. And you are such an important, thank you for that. I really do appreciate it. Woo, woo, for Robert. Such a good, important part of the Embassy RV community. And I will take a little credit for helping pull all that together with everybody, right? It's just such a great way to roll. Wow, you guys are really, and ladies, really being generous tonight. Appreciate this. So Stephen, thank you. Woo, woo. Okay, let's all drink. It really does. I don't know. If you enjoy beer on a hot summer day or evening, is there anything better than a cold beer just to quench that thirst, right? So here is this question, right? Yeah, Steve. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate that. Have you had maintenance done on a Volta? Ours is a 2020. Maintenance. I did have to have the inverter charger replaced at about 90,000 miles after living in the van for 4 years full time. So I think I wore it out. Maintenance. I wouldn't say there's any really maintenance. It either works or it doesn't. There was a wiring harness issue that affected a lot of Travato owners. I was one of them, so that was replaced. They did upgrade my alternator because of my partnership with them. I'm the Volta brand ambassador. So I go around and I train Winnebago dealers, and coming soon some others, I hope, And by having the more powerful second alternator that is now in the van that I didn't have, I think the one I have now is 190 amps. And when I am simulating for the dealers, or I am driving at highway speeds at 2,000, 2,500 RPMs, I am putting in anywhere from 7,000 to 9,000 watts into the battery. So that wasn't really a maintenance thing. That was an upgrade so I could do a better job showing it. But the battery's been fuss-free. When I get there next month to Volta headquarters, we're going to plug it into the Volta supercomputer and see what the specs are. Back in May of 2021, I had around 3 million watts processed. The battery was less than 1% off factory fresh, and I was only at 40% of the theoretical 1,000 life cycle. So we're excited to get it plugged in and see what happens. But mine's been pretty fuss-free and a game changer on so many levels. So thank you, Stephen, for that. I appreciate that. Robert, wow, you're all being super great tonight. I appreciate this. Happy belated birthday. Thank you. Have a drink on Patricia and myself. We are so looking forward to getting our Sprinter van in October. Congratulations, Robert and Patricia. Cheers. Thank you for that. I need to have a birthday more often. I'm just kidding. My God, racing to 60 faster than I know it. I appreciate that, sir. Thank you. Woo woo for Robert. Okay, let me go back to some of those. Oh, here's one right here. Don't want to give these guys first priority. So, and gals, Dawn, thank you. Hopefully that answered your question a little bit. Appreciate that. Woo woo for Dawn. This behind me, by the way, is a lamp. It's really kind of cool. I got a lot of cool lamps in my van. If I didn't have what I had, I might get one of those. It's a little big. We can make it so it rotates colors. It's LED. It's great. Okay, let me roll up here a bit. Let's see. Libation Live. What else we're going to cover? Oh, we were supposed to do. Oh my gosh, it's almost top of the hour. The this day in history. So we like to combine that with. Let's look at the iguana cam quick. Whoops. Let's see if we got any iguanas out there taking a dump. I don't see any. They must come out at night, which is kind of weird. I never thought they were nocturnal. I saw one today scared the bejesus out of me. I was in the trellis and I was out walking around and it looked just like a tree limb or a palm frond. And my God, if you're face to face with an iguana, you're like, hello, Tyrannosaurus Rex. Holy cow. They are right out of the dinosaur age. All right, this day in history. You ready for this? Let me zoom in here for you. This is pretty funny. 52 years ago today, the Apollo program, launch of Apollo 15, was the first J mission, the first use of a lunar roving vehicle. Remember those days? It was the golf cart on the moon. So amazing. 72 years ago today, Walt Disney's 13th animated film, Alice in Wonderland, premieres in London, England. Come on, Walt. What the heck? What about USA? And 248 years ago today, 1775, the office that would later become the United States Post Office Department is established by the Second Continental Congress. Good old Ben Franklin. We love Ben Franklin. Pennsylvania takes office as the Postmaster General. What a stud Ben Franklin was. Oh my gosh. We would not be a country, I don't think, if it wasn't for, I don't know, Washington and Roosevelt. And who's the other guy? And Franklin. Thomas Jefferson. Holy cow. If you ever get to Philadelphia, you got to go to Philadelphia. And street camping in Philadelphia, I still have to put that video out. You can do it in Center City, but going around and kind of going through the steps of our founding fathers is pretty amazing. This day in history, did you know any of that? I didn't either. It's pretty funny. Let's see. We're going to do Song of the Question or Song of the Week here in just a minute, but let's take a few more questions. Y'all been really great tonight. This has been a lot of fun. Should we do more loose ones like this? More content heavy. I'm so tired. The lighting is not super great. So those bags are carry-ons tonight. And what's going to be weird is I fly out at 4 o'clock on Friday afternoon, which, by the way, if you look at the map of the United States, you really can't get much further apart in the continental United States. I can fly to Seattle. That'd be even further. Spokane's far enough. It takes 2 planes. And I leave here at 5 p.m. I get into Spokane, Washington at midnight, and there's a 3-hour time difference. So I'm going to be and then the Roundup that morning, I'm going to be coming in with my eyes on clothespins to keep them open. I'm just kidding. It's going to be fun. Okay, where do we kind of leave off up here? Australia. We love Australia. We got to get down and do van life in Australia. 9:30 a.m. Good morning, ma'am. We're drinking beer, breakfast beer for you. Thank you for doing the conversion. 37 degrees, 2.9 Celsius. Holy cow. This is great. Hello to all of San Francisco Bay. Just back from Seattle, old hometown. Sorry I didn't make it over to your side of the state of Washington, Scott. J Max, thank you. Hope everyone is safe and sound. Thank you for that. And Kelly wants to know, hot where you are, LOL. You look like it. It's the humidity here is just insane. It's actually kind of toned down a little bit, but I mean, it's endless summer Florida. It's just hot and humid. It's kind of that way everywhere, right? Jack Daniels tour. I have not done that. Sherry wants to know, when you have to leave your van and travel, do you try and leave it with people who can keep an eye on it? I actually have a video about that. So yes and no. If there was van friends in the area, I would prefer that for sure. So my van is at my brother's El Rancho in his barn, plugged in, out of the sun. Hope my plants aren't dead. I didn't plan on staying longer, but Kyle needed the help. So, but I have many times this year left my van in an airport parking lot. The parking spot. They should sponsor this program because we're going to do a video. We got a video coming up of me flying away and then returning to the van, staying the night in the van in the airport parking lot, then driving away in the morning. Nobody knew the wiser. Urban camping, I call it. Thank you, Sherry. Great question. But yeah, if there's van friends around, and I much prefer that, or family. Mike Trower in the house. He is a Go Small, Live Large assigned artiste. He's a great guy. Hi, Jan. They have a Travato KL. He's a great cat. And Liberty, how has your Airbnb business been treating you? Pretty good. This is a very large property here. It sleeps 16 people. Hopefully not this iguana. Nope, I get to see the lights coming up a bit. It is softening a little bit, I will say that, but it's still quite good. We have very unique properties. Everybody says that, but we actually do. Many of you have been at one of those last February, 2022, right?
You want to go with me and then I can get
the yes, Dave. The show has started. Let's see. That's the family conversation in the background. We're going to a hot pot next. Carrie wants to know, how are we doing on time? A few more minutes. Well, we got a lot of folks in here and a lot of questions. I'll go a little over if you guys want to go over. Gary wants to know, do you prefer a routine or every day is different? 100% on the routine. Again, I'm a full-time traveler. This is very different than going off for a trip for a couple of weeks. I 100% have a morning routine, 100% have an evening routine. Kind of what happens during the day is a little flexible based on what needs to get done for channel business, Volta business, but I very much have a routine. And part of my, what's the right way to say this? Part of my fatigue here is I am so not in my routine. And I am so accustomed to sleeping in the interior of a van. When I get into a king-size bed, I'm like, many of you actually put pillows, so I'm sleeping in 24 inches of bed because I'm so weirded out by the amount of space in the bed. I can't sleep. Even just staring up the ceiling, I'm like, we have so much space in our houses. It's just my houses, space in the house will just completely change me. So I absolutely have a routine, except when I travel like this. Even then, I try and stick to it a little bit. Mason Mike in the house. Mason Mike, Valley of Fire, home base, 114, 20 days over 110. That is brutal. Gas has come down. This is great. Let's see. Sorry I'm late. No, there's nothing to be sorry about. Vanjie Hatton. Sorry I'm late. Southern California Embassy wannabe. Yeah, which we've been doing quite a bit with. And I'm going to see the embassy team, I think, next month. Really trying to get me in a van at least for a 24-hour period, like the Wingham. Even if I don't use the facilities, I just want to stay in one all these years. I looked at that original Embassy video with Terry when he had 2 bites out of his hamburger at the Florida RV Super Show, January 2019. And we got a lot of ideas with Embassy. So stay tuned. Let's see. I love the bourbon segment. Yeah, we're trying to figure out how to do a bourbon caravan. The bourbon festivals in early September. We'll probably do something afterward. This is gonna be so busy. So maybe mid to late September. Frisco Tea is kind of helping me think through this. There's just enough cool things to do within a short bit of distance, and if we get some land or a really accommodating harvest host site or a city municipal parking lot that we can pile into, I would just love to do that. It's so much fun. So if anybody has any insider info on any of the distilleries in the greater Louisville, Lexington, Bardstown area that could help us with that, I roll in there. You're who? You're a what? I'm like, yeah, I know. Look at my van though. Thank you, Matt. I appreciate this. Matt is a great guy. He was in Bisbee with all the rest of us crazies. Let's see, a few more. Let's see. Here's Kim. Kim, thank you for being here. I appreciate that. Kim Ellison. That might be a new name. I think the new Winnebago is a Solus Pocket B. Pocket B? I saw the video last week, the Winnebago. Oh, I see you're talking about the energy system. Please ask next week when they are available to order. EcoFlow, that was it. So they're taking what they learned with the Winnebago Adventure Van, they're applying it to the Solus Pocket, which doesn't have a generator, doesn't really have any electrical system in it. I may be wrong on that. But yeah, next week we'll get the scoop from Mick at Winnebago Motorhomes, my home dealer in Rockford, Illinois. EcoFlow is a really compelling way to roll if you need a light touch on electrical needs. So thank you. We will do that for sure. Jingle, jingle. Let's see, Donald's got a question here. Have you ever seen a van with a bidet asking for a friend? Well, that friend, so people I think often confuse the spray hose next to a toilet in an RV because they don't have the circular water pattern that's in a traditional residential toilet. The spray hose is not to wash your bum, but to wash the bowl. Unless you don't mind having, 50-degree water on your bum, and you'd be using a whole lot of water, that's kind of unnecessary. So use the toilet tissue, and then you use the wipes to give that thing a good cleaning. But I don't think that's a bidet. I've never seen a van with bidet, but vans with spray wands is to clean your bowl, not your bum. We better have a drink before that. This is fun. You guys having fun, ladies? Oh, you are. Vanji, newbie here from Southern California and Embassy wannabe, looking forward to a fall to see the B plus. So what Vanji's talking about is Embassy RV is developing from scratch a brand new B plus. The Cape Cod is going to be the model. It's on a cutaway chassis and they're putting on this amazing box. I'm going to see it next month. I cannot wait. I think it's going to slap around the industry a little bit, kind of like their vans do. So we'll see. Thanks for being here. Let's see. Yeah, Don, Colorado probably is my new favorite state. Now, I went in June, so that's maybe this best month. But everybody I talked to is like, the big winter's up in the mountains. It's not down in the valley. The people were so cool. The terrain's so cool. So outdoorsy, so trail friendly. Big beer town, the Denver foothills, big beer. I like the beer, but trying to keep my, 2 years from being 60 gut under control. Suburban helps with that. But yeah, Colorado was really amazing. And those of us that like Sandy and Chris hung out together, Golden, just what a special place on earth that is. Let's see, Sam. Somebody got a question. I know this is not a question, but a comment. There are a lot of folks like us who got into van life to attend music festivals. Then we discovered the other uses. Very interesting. I would love to do a music festival in my van. I have heard of others doing that, where I have a video queued up to do, I think it's 5 reasons to get a camper van. Maybe I'll make it 6 for music festivals. Pretty compelling reasons why. Ben's got a question here. It's going to cost me $8,000, I believe, to get a title transfer for the Winnebago Travato. Any tips on states to get residency to avoid huge tax bills? I don't. My residency is technically Florida, so I can't remember when we moved it from Illinois to down here. What happened? Illinois or Florida's pretty. What's the right word? It's less expensive than Illinois. It was pretty easy once I got the stuff out of Illinois. But I don't have a good answer for you there, so I apologize. Maybe somebody does. Let's see. Kind of scanning for questions. So Sam, kind of reiterating here. Yeah, one of my favorite ones. This was a gentleman I met at a Roundup in Salt Lake. He has a 90-something-year-old mother who is still at home, but just needs a little assistance. So he has been in his van parked next to her house, not in it. He came up from Arizona, I think it was, and is helping her when she needs help, but is not in the house with her because he's staying in his Travato. And then when he needs a break, he has a brother come up, and then he takes his van out for a couple weeks and comes back after the break. So assisted living without being in the assisted living space is a real nice benefit. That'll be on part of the video. Let's see, we got that one. Let's do this. Let's do song of the week. We'll run because our next stop is the Hot Pot. Anybody been to Hot Pot before? Let's check on the iguana. Anybody out there doing their thing? I don't see one. Do you? Oh, you can see the lights coming up. That's kind of nice. This is a nice property. Okay, so this is going to be our song of the week. It's an old one because it's a phonograph record. For you that are 30, 20 and younger, this was how you got your music back in the 70s, by the way. It's kind of coming back, which is kind of funny. So our song of the week is, you ready for it? One of my favorite bands ever, English band, Supertramp. The song is The Logical Song. It was released in 1979. It hit, I think, higher in the U.S. than it did actually in England. Number 6 on the U.S. Billboard. And one of the band members wrote about this very specific song because school taught all these ways to be, but rarely told anything about our true selves. And I think that's really true about our state of, education in general. But if you haven't played that song in a long time, their Breakfast in America album, I think, was their best selling. I think it was at their 6th album release. And I remember playing this song when I was in Boy Scouts. Remember the old little football games? It was white. It looked like a kind of a football field, like an arena, and the moving red LEDs, which was a big deal. There's a sound in that game. I swear to God, it's the same sound that's in this song. It was like the kickoff, or I don't know what sound it was, maybe a touchdown. But if you haven't listened to Supertramp in a while, Crime of the Century, what a great album that is. Spin this up on your music player of choice. And okay, a few more questions. We'll go for just a few more minutes. I'm getting the signal that Hot Pot is waiting. Let me know if you've had Hot Pot before. That's where you go and they put the broth and then you dump food in it and it's kind of cool. So Eric is saying, Scott, Bushnell's about an hour north of Tampa. We met at the 22 Tampa show. This is my second What's Up Wednesday. Thanks for all your time. You're welcome, Eric. Thank you for joining us, making What's Up Wednesday part of your week. Many of you have made this part of your weekly routine, which is pretty awesome. Hopefully, we'll be back in Tampa this year. We'll do another roundup, probably the Winnebago dealer, Winnebago booth. That's going to be here before we know it. We are cooking up some things with Wingham, so it's going to be a really interesting show this year. Wingham's the Italian imported OEC 17-foot vehicle, where I'm supposed to be getting to spend the night in one in the coming months, so really excited about that. Let's see if there's any more. We'll call a wrap. J Mags wants to know, I'm curious if someone is making dinner in the kitchen. If so, what's on the menu? No, we're going out for Hot Pot. Kyle was making wontons earlier. It's a big project, but like me, he's just out of gas. We've been working 6 to 9 every day, and it's a lot of work. But we're going out. Let's see. We talked about that. Please hold. Please hold. Please hold. Matt's like, this is your congregation, so preach. I'm kind of preaching to the choir. You all get it, and that's really awesome. We just need to keep building our family, building our community. And even if you aren't able to do the van thing, you can live vicariously through us. That's okay. But if you really, if I go back to this, the survey, we really need to tackle this, and we're out of time tonight, but maybe we'll just do a live with, we'll have Winnebago Motorhomes, Rockford, Illinois on next week, but the survey of 77% of people saying we can't do van travel because of cost, real or perceived. This is a big deal. We really need to take a look at this. And I did some scouting around. You can get a 2-year-old Travato K, best-selling floor plan on the planet, in a van for like $90,000. I mean, and what I was going to show also is that a cargo van, Transit, Sprinter, ProMaster, an empty van costs $50,000 to $60,000 without anything in it. So I think it's a perception. Don't get tricked by the MSRP. That is just a bunch of BS. We're going to talk with Mick about that next week. He's going to be super transparent. But thank you, Matt, for preach. Yeah, because it changed your life, right? Let's see. Ben, do I cut my hair in the van? No. Reese got are you serious? You got a Flowbee? Sir, you are a much stronger man than I. I wouldn't even know. No, I go to Great Clips and get a haircut. Now, I'm pretty consistent with Great Cuts. They do a great clip, as I call it, and it's reasonably priced, and you can do the app. So if there's a 20-minute wait, I just stay in the van until it's my time to go in. So, yeah. Now, what we could do is have a huge, bake sale. And, Ben, you can do the Flowbee on Scott. We're not going to do it in the van, though. That would be pretty funny. BM wants to know, hello, Scott from SoCal. What are you currently using in your van for internet Wi-Fi? Verizon Jetpack is still best performing, probably run 500 gigabytes a month through that. It's $65. And my iPad now is connected to T-Mobile. That is actually my iPad plus my old iPhone connect for $60 a month. So between those two, I am set. But I usually go places, libraries, coffee shops, dive bars. But if I'm doing something in the van, need good Wi-Fi, that's what I do. Mark, this is a great question from the standpoint of negotiating best price for a new van. Is there a best time of year to shop? I don't know. I'm guessing it's like the automotive business when there's a model change. But let's pose that to Mick next week. Hopefully he'll be transparent with us, because I don't know. What do you think? 2 more minutes? Dan, you got some good stuff here. Watched a fellow RV channel where they had an accident and they had to put their van in the shop for a while. Got me thinking, how do you make sure you have the right insurance to cover replacing your van? Because accidents left you hanging. Yeah, fortunately, I was pretty fortunate. I was in a hotel for about a week, but I had great insurance. I assume it's on replacement. I don't know. I need to look at that. Maybe I'll have Progressive on. This episode sponsored by Progressive. Flow. Maybe we have Flow on. Wouldn't that be a whoo? Holy smokes. I would just make sure it's properly insured. I am of the opinion to properly, if not over-insure, because the day you need it is the day you need it. And I don't want any caveats. Mason Mike in the house. I was going to get to you at some point, sir. Do you have any video stacks in the archives that you never published from the past 5 years you might dust off and share? Route 66. Yes, sir. Now with my very voluminous release schedule, we have one coming out tomorrow. It's a van tour. The Terrain by Jaco. Yeah, we're going to be doing some of that. So be patient with me. I say that every time. Loved Route 66. It was just a life-changing experience. I would love to do it again in a different way. I was working my corporate job. I was trying to record the whole thing in a very bad way, and that's why you haven't seen a lot of it, because I just didn't do a good job. And so, a huge shout out to Mason Mike for helping me shift the way I'm recording, which has made me allowed me to do different place type videos, day in van life videos. So Mason Mike's he's a champ. Hey, I think I answered him right, Ben. Of course, I like you. I like everybody. I know Floby. What if we have a Floby demo? Oh, good point, sir. Donald, thank you. Alexander Hamilton. He is truly one of the great ones. How could have things turned out if he didn't die from that gun feud thing, right? Yeah. In fact, I have him in my van up on the wall. Just what a stud, right? Let's see. Tin Carl, can you lower the temperature in Spokane to 25 degrees? They'd all appreciate that. So we can join you Saturday. If not, I'm headed to Olympic National Park. Yeah, go see the green moss. It will be hot in Spokane. And let's say we call it a wrap. Here's Jack. Excuse me. Couldn't find the mute button fast enough. Jack, great guy. Georgia. Love Georgia. I take it that you are not too enthralled with the Overland Expo. How does it compare to Adventure Van Expo? Good question, Jack. What he's alluding to is I went to the Overland Expo in Flagstaff, Arizona a couple months ago, and it's all about overland rigs. So people turning Jeeps, pickup trucks, cars into camper vehicles. Completely not my scene, and didn't know anything about it. Felt very out of place. There's a couple vans there, some vans, but Adventure Van Expo is really a sweet spot. And you don't have to go in the woods in an adventure van to really get a lot out of that show. And I'm super looking forward to the one in Chattanooga just a couple months down the road. We're going to be at the Rover Vans booth again, showing off his new bike rack that I'm getting installed on the back of my rig next month. So this time, if I get rear-ended on the right side of the van, that'd be the passenger side, then I will be protected from the, wait till you see this bike rack. It looks like something that should be on a armored vehicle. I'm really excited to get a bike back. Haven't had a bike in quite a while. So yeah, I probably won't do the Overland Expo again. Glad I did it. But Adventure Van Expo is where the action is. I think you may need glasses, Scott. Sorry, the mama bear in me. It's hard for me to read up close. Although I did get an eye test today. It was pretty funny. You do this thing and then you do this thing. And I'm like, geez. And then she goes, okay, now just read it. And I'm like down to line 8. He goes, well, you got 20/20 vision with both eyeballs from 20 feet away of what I'm reading. But yeah, up close, I'm like, what is this? But I refuse to put my iPhone on the big print, right? I think it makes your brain work a little harder. I don't know. What do you think about that? All right, let's call it. Let's see. Bill and Joe are saying Sunshine State said, I bet it in our bathroom. Bet it? And it's you're talking about a bidet, sir? Well, maybe give us a demo of what that might look like. I have no idea what that is. Congratulations, though. Sunshine State RVs. We had Nick on recently. He's a great guy. It's a great team down there. Jack's going to be in Chattanooga. That is great. Is great. So it's super great. Mark the date. It's a beautiful time to be in Chattanooga. I mean, fall is probably my favorite season. I just love Chattanooga. I love Eastern Tennessee. We can talk about buying some property and setting up some stuff. So thank you, Mason Mike. So with that, we're going to say thank you very much for joining tonight. Fun show, very loose. I like this a lot less preparation for me. Maybe we'll do more of these. Next week, we got Mick Franklin, Winnebago Motorhomes, my home dealer, has come on to talk about state of the industry, and he's going to give us a tour of the new Solus and or talk Solus at least. So until we see you soon, let's just check to see if the iguana's out here doing his thing. Nope. I was hoping he'd just walk by. Wouldn't that be a miracle, van life miracle? So not tonight. But okay, until we see you next week, we say peace be with you, And thanks for watching. We'll see a new video in the morning. We'll see you soon.